everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Stuttering in Silence. I am one half of the Stuttering in Silence team, Matthew, and I'm joined with Gavin.
Hi.
How are you, Gavin?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing, as some would say, okay. But I figured we could just, go over the last couple of weeks. It's been a interesting 3, almost 4 weeks now. Election stuff. We covered Ruby Ridge, which is a wildly massive story. We could have done like 3 episodes in that thing.
Yeah, depending on how in-depth you wanted to go with it.
Mm-hmm. And then we had the whole thing with the aliens, which every day, it seems like if you go on TikTok, you're just getting more and more information on it.
Yeah, I mean, aliens are... It's still so weird to me that they're like... that the government was like, yep, they're real.
And everyone's like, hey, fix the gas prices, fix the housing market.
Speaking of gas prices, their gas prices are way down. Did you notice that?
I did not notice that.
Yeah, the before the election, it was like... There's a couple gas stations near me that differ in price pretty hard. Also, I don't know anything about gas stations, but why do Wawas have different prices on their gas?
What do you mean?
Like the Wawa down the street from next to my house is at like $3.17, but then the Wawa that's down the street from my house is $3.09, or vice versa.
Oh, I must never have caught that.
Yeah, I don't know, but no, what was I saying?
Gas prices?
Gas prices. Yeah. Sorry.
It's that late?
Yeah. So it's been a long day. The aliens being real was not on my bingo card for 2024, but the gas prices have definitely fallen. So after I think
is it the aliens, Kevin?
It's a possibility.
It's the aliens.
It could be.
Well, one thing that I thought was interesting about the alien thing was when we talked about it, it was kind of breaking news at the time, but the government sits in front of Congress and he goes, yo, the aliens are real. Check this out. It's like for real. And everyone just went,
For real? For real?
For real, for real. And everyone just went, hey, cool. We already kind of knew that. Help us.
Right.
And again, like I said, the 1 week, and what Javen says, like, is there a broader picture that we're missing that's getting covered up with this alien thing? Because we still don't know anything about the Epstein list. The whole Diddy files aren't made public to all this stuff. And then you then decide on a random Tuesday to send, or like Monday to send me like one of the worst documentations of videos of human trafficking and all that kind of stuff. Was gross.
Yeah, well, I think there needs to be a light shed on that for sure, and then we're definitely going to be able to cover that in a future episode because that is pretty insane stuff. And a family member of mine definitely sent that out to me, so I want us to cover that, when we get through the rotation of episodes that we have.
That
planned.
was wicked, dude.
No, I know it's going to be a good episode. But no, dude, I think I want to to touch on. The past few weeks, we've had Javen on, and can we just talk for a quick second about how good he is on the podcast?
Yeah, dude, he could be a good addition to this whole thing.
And to talk about how really everyone we've had on the podcast has been like a really good guest.
Yeah,
like that's pretty good. Like, I mean, everyone it feels like they have a better conversation than others, I guess, but. I would say, like, you have all the people that we've had on so far, especially in the past year or 2 years to highlight for sure. I definitely think that everyone, was able to talk well and be concise and clear about what they were going to say. I don't know. It's just a thought that popped into my head because it is more difficult than you might think.
Well, it's weird. I mean, you and I had a lot of that, not an issue or a problem, but it was definitely something that we had to kind of get better at, because every time we were doing this, it was okay, we're talking about what we're gonna do, and we're in a flow state, and then boom, cameras turn on, microphone turns on, and then it's like, whoa, like blank face, blank and messed up voices. You know what I'm saying? I
do. Well, that's what kind of what I was hitting at was like it gets weird because you feel like all of the listeners are watching you.
Yeah.
To a certain degree. I mean,
yeah.
And listen, I still don't know what I'm doing.
Neither of us do. Dude.
I mean, we still sound like a bunch of dumbasses, but not quite total dumbasses now.
What do you think is going to happen in like 30 years from now when we go back and look on this?
You mean when we're mega famous podcasters?
Yeah, Hundo P, but, still, we're in like our mid-50s and we're like, yo, dude, we used to have a podcast.
Used to. Are you envisioning breaking the podcast up?
I'm envisioning dying at 35.
Okay. You'll die and I won't be able to walk. We'll be.
Oh, God.
We'll really be in the thick of it then. Into the thick of it. Yeah, how well do I know your brain?
You don't know where my brain was going.
I literally said it synchronized.
That's
with
where
you.
your brain was going.
No, my brain only went to where your brain was going to go, which was there.
Where's my brain right now?
In your skull. So, get wrecked. No. So, but no, I think. Because I was actually thinking about this the other night. I feel. Because I mean, me being, I guess it's like a little vain part of me. I like to go back and listen to our old episodes.
No, it's not vain.
Not vain at all. Okay, well that's asshole. I like to go. I don't know. I like to go back and listen to our old episodes and just kind of see how we sounded back then. And I will say the first episode that we did, even though it's now listening to us talk to each other now versus then, it definitely sounded more robotic. It didn't sound nearly half as bad as I thought.
Yeah.
And I think we just hit a little bit of a lull there for a couple episodes there. I think it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Let me look back real quick.
Yeah.
I know at a certain point though too, there was a lot going on with everything, and we had you want to talk about like a massive learning curve?
Oh my God. That
was insane, and people don't always think about this too, because we're constantly always trying to evolve, doing whatever, and here, let's see here. But yeah, as you kind of evolve, you always look back on things and you're like, hey, this is pretty cool. This is whatever. Wow, dude, it's going right to the beginning. But yeah, October of 2021 was the very first one. Sports news, the beginning. News. Then we had Burn Notice review.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yep.
Let me orient this whole thing here.
I think we're definitely going to have to go back and redo a couple of them.
Yeah, I know we talked about it a couple times for the whole thing.
Because I think we need to go back and redo the Burn Notice. We definitely
100%.
have to go back and redo the Gentleman.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Area 51.
Area 51. I think that we did a good job with that.
I think so, too. I think we were starting to kind of understand that we have to do a lot more research.
Yeah,
and kind of come together.
Because to give you guys everyone listening out there, to give you a synopsis or like an insight into what was happening, we were, oriented much similar to how we are now. If you're watching us on YouTube, you get that luxury of seeing us. And we were just scratching our heads for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours about how to do certain things and what to talk about and what's going to be related, like relatable to people, and what's going to be happening and current and interesting, and how are we going to talk about it. And it was just one of those things where we sat here, and I mean, I don't know if it translates. I think it does if you go back and listen to the progression over the years. If you listen to what we were talking about, it wasn't that in depth, but it was in depth for us.
Yeah.
And I think when we're talking about how to make a conversation interesting, you know what I mean? Like how to have a conversation with each other where we both know how each other feel on a certain regard on a lot of these topics, and why would someone want to listen to us? And I think that was our biggest gripe, our biggest hurdle to get over when we first started.
I think one of our best conspiracies at that time was definitely the JFK assassination.
I would agree.
I remember that was one of the first things we put out there with clips, and you put that like the eye thing, like the blacked out eye. Remember that?
Yeah. I thought that was so cool.
It was so cool.
It's funny because I'm talking about it like I was 17. I was 23. Oh my God, we started this when I was 22, 23?
Dude,
23?
It's been 3 years.
Yeah.
Because we're in 2024, and it's October was the first year. So 3 years this October.
So, 23 to 26. That's insane. You know what else is funny, too, is I remember, I think you and I talked about it in the car the one day a couple months ago. I wanted to start a podcast back in 2018. And I remember I posted an Instagram story. Shout out all those that remember that story. And it was basically like, hey, I'm starting a podcast soon. Who wants to be on it? And I didn't know what the direction I was going to take. I didn't know what I was going to talk about, what I was going to want to talk about. I didn't know where to get the equipment. I didn't know anything. I just knew that I listened to like Joe Rogan and podcasts like that, and I really wanted to do it too. So yeah, for us to have that connection, sitting at your kitchen table, you're like, I'll do it with you.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Shout
oh,
out
God.
Rockville though, dude.
Shout out Rockville.
We found it was like $215 something dollars.
Yeah.
2 microphones, a mix amp.
It was 2 mics, the mix amp.
Well,
that's all that came with
arms.
And the arms came separate. Yeah.
No, it didn't.
Didn't they come? No, that didn't come with the arm.
Oh, you're right. It didn't come with the arm. It came with that little thing.
Yeah.
That it would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some headphones and.
Some headphones. Yeah, no, it was a great bundle. So if you guys are, looking in, and shout out Shure as well. That's what we're using now.
Yep.
That's where we've evolved to. But no, Rockville definitely was a great way to start us off. Still have the equipment. Still have the stuff here.
Yeah, we're still using it.
But I say all that to say, or to ask you a question.
No.
Oh, okay. No, so what do you think was your, I guess it could be a multi-question. What would you say your biggest triumph is in learning how to be like a podcaster and like how to do this kind of stuff? And what is your biggest defeat, I guess, to a certain regard, or like your biggest frustration?
So biggest triumph would be like editing. Like that was something that I didn't understand. I remember, you guys are gonna laugh at me for this. Remember iMovie?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The iMovie
I do
thing.
remember iMovie.
So with iMovie, it tells you like any other program, like DaVinci or Adobe, whatever it is. It tells you how long it has to render. My brain goes, hey, it's not showing up on my laptop, so why isn't it working? I didn't have the understanding to where it goes, oh, it has to take time for the video to render. And we were doing almost 2-hour episodes at that point, or an hour episode.
Yeah.
So it would come to the point where it's like, well, what are we doing? And then I would cancel it, and then reach out, I'm like, why isn't this working? And then I clicked on this little circle above it. I'm like, it says rendering. It takes about an hour. I'm like, oh my gosh. Then I know you remember this too. Remember the day where we heard the psst, and we couldn't? It wasn't like that. Then all of a sudden it was.
Yeah.
How long do you think we spent on that?
I
4 hours.
Probably 4.5 hours, 5 hours.
We didn't even do a podcast that day.
No. Hey, shout out to the creation, to like the drive to make it as perfect as possible, though.
There was even the one day where we spent 12 hours in that room upstairs.
Yeah.
Hot. It was so hot.
So hot, dude.
There was no circulation of air, dude. You'd walk out that door, and it would feel like you were in like wintertime.
Yeah.
Insane.
So that was your biggest triumph, you said, was editing? Your biggest frustration?
What? Yeah, and then my biggest frustration was the sound of the microphone. So, Onverse, what about you? What was your biggest triumph? And then what was your biggest gripe?
I'd probably say my biggest frustration. I would start my frustration first. My biggest frustration for myself, I think, was, besides the technical issues that we had, was in every episode I felt like I sounded stupid. Like when I listened back to the episode, I felt like I just sounded like I shouldn't be doing this. And like I don't know. In feedback that I've heard, people have told me that it sounds great, and I don't know. I just still something I struggle with. I think I hear my voice.
Really?
And yeah. Sometimes I just hear how I talk, and then I'm like, when I listen to it retroactively, I'm like, that's not how I meant to come across, or that's not how I meant to say that, or whatever. And sometimes in my brain, I can't quite collect all my thoughts fast enough. So I'll keep saying things like or like, and I'll keep going back to phrases. I'll keep going back to phrases that I like that restart my brain.
So the thing is,
here's the thing. But yeah, so then that would be my biggest frustration is just kind of how I sound. My biggest triumph, I will say, is probably being able to create the thumbnails, like getting good at design in that sense, and they're very simple, but that's the point. I want them to be simple, but like, about what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because when I first started doing it,
so many colors,
so
dude.
many. Well, I mean, they weren't always bad. I mean, they weren't always good, but I tried, at least, I would say.
I want to see. I can't. They're in a separate drive. They're on a different
all the old ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones are. Well, I remember, sitting back and we did we were making the thumbnails, and it was you did the Thanksgiving video 2021 or 2022.
Thanksgiving.
Remember
video.
on Instagram, like the Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was like Happy Holidays.
Oh man.
That was like 20. It was like it was like right after we started, or maybe first year in.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, and it's also crazy to think about. We're at Thanksgiving now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When I looked on Spotify, it said October of 2021, and October passed. So we're over 3 years of doing this.
Yeah,
that's crazy. All because some asshole. I wouldn't show the camera on the asshole ever. Was like, hey, you want to start a podcast? You know what's crazy? Look at the video that we have now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to find it and put it in this thing. I remember the first time we were like, yo, let's get video on this thing and enhance this so we can put this on YouTube and have actual clips. And then we tried to use a webcam from like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
On, was it my Mac or was it on something else? I forget what it was.
It was on your old Mac.
Yeah.
And then we did a video, and we did an hour and like 30 minutes of discussion about something, and then the audio didn't come through. Like, there was no sound.
Only if they knew how many times that's happened to us.
Too many times. You know what else I think is funny? I still have the conversation. I said this last week, but I still have the conversation on my phone where we did the whole podcast about something about Harry Potter, and then we never uploaded it. It's still on my phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me see it.
No. I could show it to you after.
I remember you were going to let me do, it was like, so whatever anniversary it was, and you were like, oh, let me do the Harry Potter. And then I was going through the books and the movies, and then you just decided, nah, fuck this guy, and just started coming at me. I'm like, oh, whoa, I didn't know it was like this. And then it was like Lord of the Rings, and then it was, oh, man, Star Wars, even though Harry Potter is better than Star Wars, but neither here nor there.
We're not doing this again, dude. So let me ask you this then, so that we don't just ramble on and on and on and irritate the people that are trying to listen to us be coherent. What do you think? Because this is something that I ask myself sometimes. Is there any episode in particular or parts of episodes that stand out to you that you think about a lot from the inception to now? Is there anything that like you'll be going through your day and all of a sudden something just pops in your head, or you're talking to somebody about something and you laugh at the memory?
Oh, dude, that's easy. That was Thanksgiving. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That was Thanksgiving, I think, a year ago, 2 years ago, when Cody breaks the chair while we're talking, and we got it all on recording.
Yeah. And then he pulls out the piece. That was pretty funny.
That has to be top 5 coolest things. I mean, dude, there were some ones we did like 2.5 hours. We would do some at your house. We would do some, I mean, mostly here, but we do like the coffee talks over there.
Yeah.
The coffee talks.
The coffee talks. We should bring that back.
We should.
I miss the coffee talks. You know, yeah. If you guys are listening to this on YouTube, definitely drop us a comment to see if you guys. I want to know if you guys want the coffee talks to come back,
or the Tips Tuesday,
or the Tipsy Tuesdays. If you guys have ventured into watching those from a year ago, if you guys have watched those, do you guys want us to bring it back? I mean, I would love to bring it back. I think we should bring it back anyway, but I think
we should do a thing where it's Tipsy Tuesday, but we actually get tipsy.
Well, maybe, but albeit that we have to drive home. Maybe that wouldn't be the best idea.
What's better after a long night of drinking?
Get this man his keys.
Get this man behind the wheel.
No, we never condone that. But no, those were fun. So but that would be a big memory for me too. But I think for whatever reason, frequently, and by frequently I mean at least every once in a few weeks, or once every few weeks, I think about the conversation that you and I had way back in the day, where we were sitting in the room upstairs, and we're sweating, and it was you, where we were talking about, could you survive a hand-to-hand combat with a tiger? And you were so convinced that you could beat a tiger in hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, bro.
And then
if
you're
I
like,
had a sword.
yeah, you're like, I could totally beat him in hand-to-hand combat if I had like a shield and like a sword, or like put me in a tank. I was like, wait a minute, dude, that's not hand-to-hand combat. That's one that I think about a lot. I don't know why. It's just, oh my god.
Oh, dude, that was a great one. What was the thumbnail for that one?
Oh, I don't even remember. I don't even think we made one. I think I bailed on it.
Oh, that was funny. There was so many good ones. I mean, wait, let me pull this back up again. What was the gentleman we got to do again though?
I think the gentleman we got to do. I genuinely do believe that we, like, I really did enjoy doing. I did enjoy doing the Tipsy Tuesdays and the coffee talks.
Yeah.
I think the coffee talk was a lot of fun because it got us doing it on a different day at the time.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, we were doing it. What was our schedule? We were doing it like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Or no. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Was it Thursdays?
Yeah, because I worked on Friday and you DoorDashed on Friday nights.
Right.
Dude, think about that also. Not to keep jumping around topics here, but like where we were, like our schedule was that, and I was working at Creekside, and you were DoorDashing, and then midway through I think, what was it, midway through the first year, or like into the first year and a half of us doing the podcast, you came back to Creek.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was that was that era of life. It seems like 10 million years ago. But I digress. Don't roll your eyes at me.
I digress.
I don't. What am I, Sylvester Stallone all of a sudden? Yep.
I can do a great impression.
That was a great impression.
I'm trying to look at the where the fuck is it, dude? Not So Happy Holidays. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That was in 2023. I'm trying to see. Oh, are the embarrassing stories ones?
Embarrassing stories. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. We should do a movie review soon. We haven't done a movie review in a minute.
We just did a whole month of movie reviews.
Yeah, but not like of a specific movie. We just went, oh, this was in 2000. This is that.
Yeah. Okay. What do you want to review?
Tenet.
So I have some cool thoughts about the movie Tenet.
Okay.
The movie sucked.
No, it didn't.
We talked
you hate
about
every movie.
No, I don't. We're not going to have this conversation again. I don't hate every movie. And I've already I explained to you in the other series. You guys can go back and listen to it. I explained to you what my exact opinions and my thoughts were on movies because I hold them to a higher standard than everybody else. And I feel like everybody should raise their standards because people are out here staying in movies that suck.
Okay. Well, looking here, this is the one thing that you sent me that still to this day gives me goosebumps and I'm terrified about.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say?
The David story?
Yeah, man's best friend, creepypasta.
That was a good episode.
That was a fantastic episode. I remember you sending me, let's do this one. I'm like, all right, cool, sounds good. I'm at my dad's. No one's home. Just me, 11:30 at night. And I just had this image of David coming down the steps with his like paws and such. And I'm like, oh, this is like terrifying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I'm gonna walk out of this door and I'm gonna see David in the doorway. Just like that kid did.
Yeah. No, that was definitely a really creepy pasta. That I listened to that as well, alone and in the dark. But what is your other one? You freaked you out? The other cryptid or like creepypasta?
Oh,
The Rake.
The Rake. Yeah. That's why I don't leave my chair open when I go to bed.
What I don't even really remember what
So
the Rake is.
The Rake was like it was a mythical creature. I think it was in Ireland. I have to read up on it again, but it's been around since like the 1800s, and it telepathically talks to you. And what happens is if it touches you, it's like this cold, kind of like slimy thing, but it can like kill you if it does touch you. And it like slowly, kind of like Slender Man, reveals itself to you. It'll wake you up, and it's just sitting on its bed, just staring at you, like, yeah. And it's been known to like kill people, to take people, to be in your dreams, kind of like Freddy Krueger. And it's just terrifying. And there's like images that you see of the Rake. So I don't know if you want to look it up, but it's like the Rake caught on camera. And it's terrifying. It's, yeah, right there. The Rake caught on camera. It's one of the most brutal things I've ever seen in my entire life. And it freaks me. That one right there.
Which one? The one on the right?
That one, bottom left.
Bottom left? This one?
This one right here. Yep, I'll try to put it up too on the podcast.
This one?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's like actually the most terrifying thing that I've ever seen.
I won't expand too much. But
yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I've seen this.
Yeah.
I've seen this.
Yep. So that's the Rake. Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've seen like this exact picture.
Yeah. No.
On like YouTube and stuff. Sorry. Sometimes I forget that we're actually recording, and I just talk, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta be interactive.
Good, dude.
I gotta be. What is the word? I gotta be.
Real.
Be entertaining.
We kind of did something like this, actually. What we're talking about now is how the podcast started back in November 25th, 2022.
Yeah. Well, we had only done it for a year at that point.
Yeah.
Now we're at 3 years.
Ed Gein, 2022. That was a good one.
That was a good one. I think for us being podcasters in the sense of like we do it as a hobby, not as a job. I think we're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think is like the reasoning for the uptick in everybody wanting to have a podcast back in like 2020, 2021?
I think it's people talk and they have good ideas. But I also think when you're with friends, it's interesting. You're having a good time. Everyone's giggling and laughing. So they go, oh, well, everyone else in these podcast streams are doing it. Why can't we?
Right.
You know? So it's one of those things where people see it causes money, it causes fame, all these things. And then they go, oh, well, we're funny. We're interesting. People like us. Let's start a podcast.
Right.
And that's usually how it goes. And then the whole joke is like, oh, we're going to get canceled now.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the boat that we found ourselves in, but I also think COVID had a lot to do with it because you have everybody that was going through with not being able to. We were all living this shared experience. The whole world was really of not really being able to go outside and interact with everybody and do the same kind of things that we wanted to do, we're used to doing. But I don't know, man. I just feel like everyone all of a sudden just started doing a podcast, and I feel like it's a good thing. Like I'm enjoying listening to all the different ones and everything like that. But it was just I was thinking about that the other day when I was taking a shower. I was like, I wonder if it was just COVID that was like the main benefit or the main contributor to why everyone started having a podcast there for a minute. But
yeah, I do feel like a lot of people started like really. I mean, even nowadays, once people get a platform, any kind of platform, they start a podcast.
Yeah,
you
that's
ever
true.
notice that?
That's true.
Yeah,
because I feel like it's probably a way to reach out to be able to connect with people.
Can they turn that off?
What, the rake?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. You were saying?
I think it's a real way for people or for them to connect with their audience in a different light, especially like, and to also create easy forms of content.
Yeah.
So like
100%.
If you're known like as a musician or as an actor or something, it's going to be hard for you for people to resonate with that. But if you're on a podcast where you can describe how you feel and how you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's also the whole thing with like that Joe Rogan was trying to do with with Kamala and Trump and with anybody really. You can get a sense of someone's personality and get a sense of who they are through conversation, especially long-form conversation, whether you're not just going on YouTube or going on Instagram, TikTok, or X, formerly known as Twitter, and you're just getting a blip of a minute to 30 seconds to a minute of content. And then you can't take that as a whole form of what this person is or what they're all about. So, I think with the podcast, you can kind of gauge people's personalities, which I think why people like that, because they get to go, oh, these guys are real, these guys are cool, or these guys suck, fuck them, yada 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 yada. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
No, I would agree. To your point too, I think TikTok is a huge fault in like a huge. I don't even know. I would consider it almost like an exposed wire in the media industry because now it's created. Such a different way that people view each other and view content in general, and it's depleting rapidly the attention span of the youth and of anybody under the age of 40. And it's just another way because you can post TikToks about anything. You're going to reach such a much larger audience than you would if you had just done it on Facebook or just X or just.
That's true.
You know, because really when X was Twitter. Even though it was kind of a cesspool of just...
Still a cesspool.
I mean, yeah, but to be expected when you have, like, a free speech app, I guess, or, like, because Elon's really pushing the free speech, which obviously, I mean, duh. But I think it was one of those things where it was one of the largest sources, like, media-wise, for you to be able to get whatever kind of opinion out there or have as many people look at it as possible. And now that got overshadowed by TikTok, you know, because you can make a whole career on TikTok, and as we've seen in the past couple of years, people are
getting paid on that app too.
People are getting paid, and you live by the sword and you die by the sword though too sometimes, because you might get big for doing some kind of content creation or some kind of shtick or whatever, and then all of a sudden it comes out that you don't think 9/11 was real or something like that, and all of a sudden.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like you see all the content.
9/11 isn't real.
What's up?
What?
No, you said something.
No, I said that it's wild how you can just live by the sword, die by the sword, things like that.
No.
Now, what do you mean?
No, you just roll it back real quick, slow motion replay. You said something about 9/11.
I said it's really real.
Oh, really real.
Really real.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, whew. I thought you said something else there.
No.
But yeah, and so we've seen a lot of big content creators get taken down in the past couple of years.
What?
You're really hanging on this 9/11 thing?
I'm not hanging anywhere. I'm going full speed ahead.
Hanging out with your bud. 5
feet apart 'cause I'm not gay.
Would it be a problem if you were?
No,
Good. I'm glad you're progressive in your thinking.
I am.
I'm glad.
Set on certain things,
We are so far off the rails.
like men with glasses and brown, black eyebrows, black hair with a microphone in front of their face.
I don't have black hair.
What would you consider your hair?
Brown.
No,
It's dark brown.
that is.
That is the color of
Black
my
as
hair.
fuck.
It is not black.
If you were over there in the abyss, I'm telling you, I won't be able to see your hair.
Okay. If it looks black, from all intents and purposes, is it actually
Yes.
wrong?
Perception is reality.
Perception is only reality until your perception is shifted.
Oh my gosh! Here we go.
I'm just saying. If I took a if I am in front of a green screen and it looks insanely real and everyone watching the video thinks it's real until they come into the studio and they realize it's not real, it would be real to them. For all intents and purposes, that would be real.
That's a Schrodinger's cat analogy.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Is it?
The cat is dead.
That's not even a real thing.
It is.
This guy.
What do you mean? It's not a real thing?
No, you're not gonna perpetuate a lie by just throwing things out there, trying to be smart. Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger's
cat. Oh, Schrodinger's cat. Yeah, that's a real thing. Okay.
Like it is.
Jamie, pull that up.
There's no Jamie here. It's just you and me.
Shit.
Although I do want to figure out how we can get that on here,
What's that?
like all your little thingies that you do on that computer.
What do you mean?
We've just completely derailed, haven't we?
Yeah, I don't even know what this topic is about. What we're talking about anymore.
But let's round this out because I don't know where we're at. Point being though is, dude, this has been a lot of fun, and just in the past couple of weeks with having Javen on, how awesome he's been, and even just to like add to it, dude. Like when we were gonna I only have him off for 4 weeks, and we got to like week 3 or 4. I'm like, actually, we're not having Javen on, but doing Ruby Ridge, doing the aliens. And there is one more that's going to be coming out. I think we've come a long way.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to highlight on us coming as far or progressing as far as we have in the short amount of time that we have done this, really, and I'm proud of us. So
I am too.
But yeah, it's been a long day, so let's round it out. Let's get us out of here. Oh my God. So for everyone listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever kind of podcast you're listening, platform you listen to us on, thank you guys very much. If you don't mind dropping us a 5 stars in the rating section of that application, we would definitely appreciate it. If you are listening to us on YouTube, definitely go ahead and give us a thumbs up if you would not mind, and drop us a comment to see how we can, just let us know how we can improve. Call us dumb, call us fat, call us handsome, call us smart, call us stupid, call us silly, but call us something. So you guys know the drill. We definitely appreciate everyone tuning in. As One Piece has, this was definitely a filler episode, I'd say, but it's just a little laid-back, chill, relaxing episode to talk about,
There's like 1,000 filler episodes.
Are they all filler episodes?
Yes.
We suck.
Yeah. Damn.
Well, they say you learn something new every day. So with that being said, we will see you guys next time.